Tonight, Troy welcomes a visitor from the New York Times.
Plus the celebration of a Trojan living legend. Stay tuned, TrojanVision Nightly News starts now.
Troy University locations around the world. This is Troy TrojanVision Nightly News.
Hello and welcome to Troy TrojanVision Nightly News for March 28, 2014. I'm Jamarlo Phillips.
And I'm Haley Greathouse. Thank you for joining us this evening. The new home for Troy University's School of Music was officially dedicated this afternoon, but more than putting a name on a building, the ceremony was a celebration of the man responsible for Troy's music tradition. Weather may have forced a change of venue for the dedication ceremony of Long Hall, but it did not rain on the parade of affection for the man the home of Troy University's School of Music is named for, Dr. Johnny Long.
From the day that I arrived at Troy University, Dr. Long has been a great friend and a great colleague. I've drawn so much counsel from him. He's literally revered as one of the real giants in the history of Troy University. And so, you know, for us to have an opportunity to honor him is really an honor for us.
Opportunity was a word that every speaker used at the ceremony, and thanks to this new building, Dr. Long will continue to give opportunity to many students to come.
We're very proud of this new commitment to the fine arts, dance, choral, instrumental, and I think we're positioned well for the next several decades.
Long Hall will be revolutionary to the Fine Arts Department at Troy University, bringing in more students looking to receive their Bachelor in Fine Arts.
We owed it to our students, we owed it to our faculty to give them the very best that we could provide. When you think of the fine arts at Troy, you'll think of the fine arts in a different way. We have the best programs by far in Alabama, and I think this building will accommodate them.
When you look around this campus, anywhere you can see we're in a class by ourselves. This building is a magnificent building. I don't know one like it anywhere in the United States. When you look and see this campus, and you see any other campus, you're going to find it different.
Dr. Long is overwhelmed by this honor and show of support.
I'm surprised so many of them came. I didn't expect 1/10 as many people. Just a wonderful privilege honor, and I'm very honored and thrilled.
And during the ceremony, he was given a citywide recognition that surprised him.
Very honored to have a street name for me. I couldn't believe that. That was a tremendous surprise to have a street name. I had no idea this was going to happen.
The new Long Hall opened at the beginning of spring semester and is the home of Troy School of Music, choral, and dance programs.
Each year, Troy University's Hall School of Journalism and Communication holds a symposium as a way to expand students' knowledge of the field of journalism. This year, the school welcomed a nationally known sports columnist for the New York Times to share his knowledge and experience. Troy University's Hall School of Journalism and Communication and the university's Center for Student Success held a symposium Friday morning in the Schroeder Center ballrooms. The speaker of this symposium was New York Times sports columnist William C. Roden.
Well, I was invited to speak as part of a seminar, a sports and media seminar, and the New York Times has a good relationship with Troy.
Keynote speaker William Roden covered editorial leadership in this morning's symposium and how it affects the role of the media in influencing ethics and morality in sports.
Well, my particular talk was about ethics and morality in sports and sports media, and how the media, and particularly the editorial part of media discusses sports and ethics and those kind of issues.
Students who attended the symposium say that they enjoyed the speaker and found the lecture to be very informative concerning the world of journalism.
Mr. Roden did a great job talking about once you become a journalist, you're not just a fan of a specific team, but you're a fan of sports. You're a fan of writing and of sports journalism as a whole.
He did a great job of letting us know what's going on in the sports world. I'm not a big sports fan, so I don't really follow what's happening in the sports world, so I really enjoy getting to hear what he said.
I think for people who are inspiring to be writers like me personally, who wants to be a sports writer, it's really nice to have somebody who's like in the field, who knows the kind of things, like have the experience, the 20+ years, has seen the things that he's seen and done the things he's done, and have that kind of experience with us and just talk to him and get some kind of knowledge for that and learn from it.
And what does students will gain from his lecture?
I hope they took from the idea just that part of our role as journalists is just to make people think. We don't have answers, we don't have all the answers, but we have a lot of questions.
We will hear more from Roden later in today's Trojan Talk. Well, Haley, Troy University is now home to a club that is the first of its kind in America.
And that's right, Jamarlo. Troy's Collegiate Exchange Club received its charter yesterday afternoon, the first at a public institution of higher learning in the United States. Xavier Harris has the story.
On March 27, 2014, 35 Troy University students had the chance to make history charting Troy University's first exchange club on campus.
The exchange club actually began March 27, 1911 with a group of businessmen exchanging ideas, and they just became chartered as a club. Today is the 103rd birthday of the National Exchange Club.
Not only was it the first exchange club on campus, but it was also the first time an exchange club has been chartered at a public school.
Just the fact that Troy University has so much to offer, and we wanted to get the students involved here in what the exchange club stands for. And we began talking about this last year, and we were able to bring it to fruition this year. So we're very proud of that.
And as the newly elected president, what may be some of his future plans now that he will be in charge of the Troy University's organization?
We are going to start working with the Veterans Home here in Troy, Alabama. We're going to start working with the Boys and Girls Club. We're going to start working with Noble Manor over by the hospital. We're going to start working with the hospital. We're going to start working with middle school, high school, just getting a lot of young kids involved in different activities and just trying to get them more ready for Exchange Club, as well as affecting their lives right now, getting ready for college, just different things to prepare them for life.
And for students interested in joining the Exchange Club, what are some of the requirements that they must meet in order to be a part of the organization?
The only requirement is there are dues, and I don't know what the dues are for the collegiate clubs. It's not very much, but that's the only requirement. We have 4 pillars that we do projects with: Americanism, community, youth, and then our national project is child abuse prevention. So any student at Troy University who would like to become a member of the club, it's open to any student.
Xavier Harris, Troy, TrojanVision News.
35 charter members were installed on Thursday, making the Troy chapter the largest chartering class for a collegiate club in America.
And now taking a look at news from around the state. Authorities in Etowah County say a Gaston man has died after being hit by a car and dragged across a bridge. Investigators say 45-year-old Matthew Paul Goddard was taken to Gaston Regional Medical Center after being hit by a car Wednesday night on the Mahan Bridge. The driver of the vehicle, 28-year-old Keely Jan Maddox of Kentucky, is being held without bond and is charged with driving under the influence.
And out of Montgomery, Alabama's unemployment rate has risen to 6.4%. The State Department of Labor says the February rate is up from 6.1% in January, but it's below the same month last year when Alabama measured 6.6%.
And in Tuscumbia, a funeral is planned Sunday for Elizabeth Ann Heflin, the widow of U.S. Senator Howell Heflin. She died Wednesday at her home in Tuscumbia at the age of 88 years old. Her husband, Howell Heflin, died in 2005.
Still to come on TrojanVision Nightly News, the softball hosts Georgia State at home over the weekend. Amy Austin will have the details on that and more when she joins us in sports.
Now Amy Austin joins us with sports. Well, Amy, tomorrow is a big day for the Troy Athletics.
Yes, Jamarlo, that's right. The softball team will be in action and so will the football team, but I'll get into the details right now. While the softball team and football team will be in action here at home, the baseball team will head to Atlanta to take on conference foe Georgia State starting tonight. Troy's coming off a midweek loss to Alabama, while Georgia State played Alabama A&M and defeated them in both games. Troy is currently 3-2 in the conference. Georgia State is 1-5 in conference play. Troy will pair the usual starters for the 3 games. Tanner Hicks will open Friday night's game with Shane McCain on Saturday and Ben Tidwell to close out the series. Leading at the plate for the Trojans is David Hall with a .375 batting average. First pitch tonight will be at 6 p.m. Troy will then have a game on Saturday and Sunday to complete the series. Troy's softball team will also be taking on Georgia State, but will be facing them on their home turf. The Trojans faced Georgia State last year in 2 away games and took both victories. The first was in Starkville, Mississippi, where Troy won 5-3. The second game took place in Atlanta, where the game went into extra innings, but the Trojans won the game 8-7. The Trojans will be playing on their home field and look to improve their conference record as they are 0-4. Head coach Melanie Davis knows that her team will be facing a tough conference opponent.
Georgia State is a bunch of fighters as well. I think a couple games we had non-conference with them last year. We battled in extra innings, and you know, they're going to be a tough opponent. Everybody in the Sun Belt Conference, very tough opponent. So I do know that they'll come to town ready to battle.
The doubleheader for the softball team will begin at 1:30 on Saturday. The series will conclude with a final game on Sunday at 12. The women's tennis team will be in Mobile facing South Alabama today starting at 4 and then facing the University of Louisiana Lafayette on Saturday. The women have won their last 5 matches, the latest being against Florida A&M in Troy. In that match, Trine Hune and Anja Kosovic won their 11th straight doubles match. While the women are in Mobile, the men's team will be in Murfreesboro taking on UAB at 2 p.m. The men's match against Alabama A&M was postponed, but in the last 4 matches, the men have won 3 out of the 4. The lone loss coming from South Alabama, where the Jaguars took the doubles point and the match. The men will begin today at 2, while the women will start later at 4. And spring practice is wrapping up for the football team as T-Day approaches. The football team has been completing its spring practice, and the conclusion will be at the T-Day game on Saturday. Prior to the game, head coach Larry Blakeney is having a reunion for former players and coaches. Admission into the game is free, and due to the reunion, there will be former players and coaches returning for the game, some faces fans might recognize. After all the practicing, Coach Blakeney knows his team is working to grow towards next season, but still has a good ways to go.
I'd like to be finished product, but we certainly aren't, you know, but, we got a lot of work to do still. We're a football team that, just like everybody else's football team, they need to get stronger and closer together and more cohesive and learn and, everything it takes to be a winner. We still got some time before we play UAB, and we'll have to be at our best for that game.
T-Day scrimmage will be tomorrow at 12:30 p.m. So Haley, Jamarlo, lots of athletics going on. The softball team, tomorrow and for T-Day. So hopefully fans can get out there and support the Trojans.
That's right, Amy. And again, congratulations to the women's softball team. And as tomorrow, the big day approaches, T-Day. All right, thank you so much.